Hi, I'm Bobby Dietz, and this video is about LinkedIn, how to grow your following in structured ways, specific tactics that you can deploy to actively get more connections and followers to your account. And I also talk about what a pod is and why it could be important for you to consider starting a pod to help the engagement of your account and ultimately the growth of your account as well. LinkedIn is the absolute best place to be growing your business right now, and hopefully this video and some of the tips in here will help you leverage it to your fullest ability. Anyway, enjoy, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. The first point is perhaps the reason I started trying to grow my LinkedIn following altogether is the functionality of the follow button. And not just the functionality, really, it is the fact that you can have the follow button be the main and only button on your page instead of connect or message. Now people just follow you when they go to your profile. You don't have to have them connect with you. Once LinkedIn made that change, it really catapulted them into the stratosphere of a true social network that I can build, and I don't have to have this one-to-one connection element. I'll talk more about that later, but for now, let's just kind of get into it. The first thing is the privacy settings. Make sure your privacy settings are wide open. This may seem like a silly thing to be saying, kind of a duh moment for most of you, but for those of you who are not really familiar with LinkedIn and need a little bit of A to Z help, go open up your profile, make sure you got a nice picture, make sure you're not on private mode and people can see the things that you post, otherwise you're just never gonna have it happen for you. Now we talk about how to build out your profile. You need to make sure that you have a nice write-up in the beginning, a clear title of what you do, all your job history, make sure you join groups. I'll come back and talk about how to leverage groups later, but it shows people the things that you're interested in. I'm not gonna make this all about building out a profile. That's a separate video. This is just about how to grow once you've built a profile. But you need to create 10 different posts and 5 articles. So LinkedIn does this very weird thing. When you look at somebody's post activity, it only shows you 15 different posts. And these are not your most recent posts. It's not your most successful posts. It's just 15 random posts, 5 of which are articles and 10 of which are just posts. It's so bizarre. I post every day and it's still these same 10 random posts. I only know this because I create dummy accounts on all the different social profiles to see how things appear. You always need to be testing, so this is the reason I found this out. So if you're gonna build out your activity, which is what you need to do if you're gonna get followers, people look at your activity to see if that's someone they wanna follow, more important than anything, even your profile. If you look on mobile, you can't even see a lot of the detail in your career history. It's really all about your activity and your articles and your posts. So build out 10 posts. These need to be topic-oriented posts. So if you are a CFP, it needs to be in that vein of industry. If you are a dietitian, you need to have 10 posts about nutrition and 5 articles about it. How to write an article is really simple, very quick. I should make another video for this, but really quickly, just find an article that you really like. And instead of, that somebody else wrote, and instead of just saying a quick sentence and sharing it, just take 5-10 minutes, make bullet points of what that article is about, and then rewrite it for yourself. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't try and come up with random things to write and talk about. Take somebody else's work and just make it your complete own. Then you don't have to start coming up with what you're gonna talk about and what everything's gonna be about. You have your playbook, now just go put it in your own words. Do that 5 times. Create posts is basically the same thing. You wanna have strong opinions or add value on your topic and give that information to people. It's not very hard. Then when somebody lands on your profile, they'll see 5 articles and they'll see 10 different posts and they can say, wow, those are some interesting topics this person talks about. I'll follow them. At a minimum, you need to have the 15 posts, but obviously you're gonna wanna continue to post content, otherwise people are gonna unfollow you, okay? So listen, what you need to do is create a post and put links to all your other pages on LinkedIn. So your home page and tell people to follow you, your recent activities page with a link to your posts, and your articles page with links to your articles. That's gonna give people who see a post that are interested and think, this person looks interesting, maybe I'll click through. No, they don't have to wonder where they're gonna go look. I wanna see more like this. or I want to see what kind of articles this person has written. Give them, spoon feed them where to go and what to do. It'll make them engage with your page a lot easier, more frequently, and you'll get more followers because there's a way to tie them in with you a little more. Okay, once you've posted, you need to make sure that you share all this stuff in groups. So like I said earlier in the video, you need to join groups. All these groups need to be based specifically on what you do. If it's finance, join as many finance groups as you can. I mean, at least 10, let's say, okay? Really good groups. And we want big, and we want small, and we want medium. All the different sizes of groups. You'd think, oh, there's only 1,500 people in this group. Probably not worth my time. Not so. Not that many people are posting in that group compared to the group with 400,000 people. And so your post isn't gonna get swallowed up by all the other content. You're gonna be prominent right at the top. Anybody who looks at the group, probably gonna see your content. There's some groups I'm in that my posts, multiple in a row, are all at the top. That's a benefit, and I get people from that group following me. So don't discriminate by the size of the group. Find the ones that are perfect for your industry. Then once you've followed all them, you have to wait for them to approve you. So don't just go follow 10. Make sure you follow 20 or 30 because it takes people forever. There's still groups I'm waiting months I still haven't gotten approved on. So make sure you join the right groups, and then when you've created a post, share the post to the group, okay? You can also create a unique post and just post it in the group. It's much easier to press the share button and then it goes right to the group. But it's really, really important, and one of the main things that I learned is you can't just hit share, choose a group, and post. You need to write a little sentence in there to make sure that people understand what your goal is. You need to let them know to follow you so they know, oh, this guy is actually looking for followers. Anybody who's looking for followers is posting content, and somebody maybe I should consider following. That's the right way to do it. I tried it both ways because it's so much easier to just put share, choose the group, post. But if you take a second even to copy and paste one little sentence that says, hey, follow me, I post content like this every day. Just even that is gonna get people to say, oh, that's interesting, because you have to remember the way it appears in somebody's phone is this person posted a post of themselves. But with a little sentence, it helps them understand what they're to do. And what they're to do is follow you. Also, don't be scared about who's gonna see this. When I started doing this, I was worried that everyone would see that I was sharing a post that I put up 10 times in 10 groups. No one in your connections or people that follow you see that. They don't see that you've shared it a million times. All they see is the single first post. One of the drawbacks with groups is you can't get into people's feed from a group. You have to get into people's feed with hashtags, and that is what hashtags really are for. It's the only purpose for LinkedIn that I could find for a hashtag. So if you use the hashtag content marketing and you put a post up about content marketing, you have a chance to get in the feed of people that follow content marketing. Those are the only people that have a chance to see it. If you go and follow like sales leadership or something like that and you make a post about sales leadership, you have a chance to get in the people's feed that follow sales leadership, and that is it. It's the only reach. But you can't get in people's feeds with those posts. Not in my experience anyway. I haven't seen it, and I follow a lot of groups. I don't see any posts. And for hashtags, you can only get in people's feed on mobile. I'm telling you, it's so bizarre and I can't explain it, but I've never seen a hashtag that I follow post in my feed on my desktop, only on mobile. So I can't explain. Some of this stuff is really finicky and wonky with LinkedIn, but that's just the way it works. So make sure you use some hashtags, make sure they're very applicable to what you're doing, and make sure they're not too big. I find that if I can get that medium to small size hashtags I'm using, it's much more effective, because I mean, think about how many people are following entrepreneurship. I mean, it's white noise at that point. So, but if you can find like small business owners marketing, now I've got a pretty good chance of getting in somebody's feed. When you start posting every day, you're gonna get a ton of connection requests. Most people see these as a nuisance or annoyance. I see them as the single biggest opportunity to grow your LinkedIn following, okay? You have all these people reaching out to you, trying to connect with you, that maybe don't even know that they can follow you instead of connect, or they're spamming you and trying to get you to do business that's never ever gonna happen. Tons of that on LinkedIn, right? Okay, so I have this strategy I deployed where anybody who came and tried to connect with me, I accepted their connection request, and then I sent them a template reply that said, thanks for the connection request. I reserve my first degree connections for people I've actually done business with, but follow me. I post content every day, and then I send them a link to my landing page. where they can see the follow button very clearly. And then under that, so I'm not blowing them off totally, I say, but for business inquiries, make sure you email me, Bobby at. And that gives me the great opportunity to be a friendly, hey, I do want to talk to you. I just try and keep my connection circle really tight. So you're not blowing them off. They can contact me. They can't get my email from LinkedIn. Now they've got it. So it's a friendly, I've never had anyone email me either, by the way. So I've tons of these things. No one's ever emailed me. So if you're worried, oh, I don't want to get my email out, I don't know. It's just no one emails me. So there's really no downside, and the conversion rate on this is 17%, which is a great conversion rate in any industry, man. This is the way to really grow your LinkedIn following, I found, and you only get people to inbound contact you when you are out posting, so you have to post every single day. Which brings me to my next point, which is the type of posts, okay? As of late, I have tried doing just text posts, and they are explosive. They go into so many people's feed. I have absolutely no idea why they're so much better, but they're just so much better. You look at the views on them and it's unbelievable. Even way better than my articles. These little silly quick messages that I just type out and send out into the LinkedIn, for some reason, get seen by 100 times more people than the articles that I spend so much time putting together. So a great deal of my strategy moving forward is just gonna be through text. I get so many likes and comments, it's really unbelievable. It's not even comparable. Now, I do believe that the video and link sharing element to post activity is extremely valuable, because you want to make sure you provide content that's consistent, high value, high production, so people know that you are a valued member of their feed and they can rely on you for entertaining value add content. But I also think that text is the way to really engage with people the best. Text posts need to be done differently as well. You need to post something that's a unique idea on a specific topic. Could be considered controversial, but you definitely take a strong stand on it. It doesn't have to be like a controversial issue. It could just be like people could weigh in on it heavily. Like I did a post on global warming. People are gonna weigh in on that, you see? So you wanna make sure it's something that people can relate to, would comment on without, holding back. And it doesn't have to be long. Just keep it very short. Say something out there. People will reply to you. It's really unbelievable, as long as it has a message that people could feel passionately about. A common strategy for Instagram is the follow unfollow strategy. I use Stim Social to grow my Instagram following, where I just post ad reviews, and it works really well. It follow 2,000 people like every week, and then it unfollows all those people as well. They're real followers. There's no fake engagement. It's all real people that have decided they like my account and they want to follow it. Is it the nicest thing to do? Absolutely not. But it's completely painless, and I don't have to do any work to grow the account. That would be great if LinkedIn was like that, but it's not. All the bot systems they have out there are just super sketch. The best one I've found is Following Like. Is that what it's called? And even it is like Excel spreadsheet upload, and all that is just for 10 follows a day. Otherwise, the LinkedIn system identifies it as spam, and you get blacklisted from being able to connect with, follow people, and even have people see your posts, which is super punitive. I can do 10 posts, connection requests a day myself, or follow requests a day myself. So I don't really need the bot. So LinkedIn's done a good job of controlling the spam in that element, and the fake followers in that way. So I commend them for that, but it makes it difficult to grow in this way. But the encouraging point here is that I get a 2% follow back ratio on all my followers, and I keep a tight spreadsheet of all the people I've followed and then unfollowed, and only 2% of those people even follow me back, which I think has a lot to do with the fact that people are either active on LinkedIn or they're not, like really not. Like I'll get replies from people I messaged like 8 months ago. So I don't think follow unfollow is really gonna do the trick, because people just are so stepped away from LinkedIn, or they're really, really dialed in. Theoretically, follow unfollow should work really, really well. Anytime you follow somebody, they get a notification in their feed that says, hey, this person followed you. And then it gives this really nice follow back button, making it super easy for someone to just, boom, follow back. But for some reason, it just doesn't work. Only 2% of the people that I reach out to actually follow me back. I can't figure out why it doesn't work, but it really, really does not work for me. If somebody else has a strategy out there to get follow, unfollow to work out, I would really be interested to find out what they're doing differently. But with a nice follow back button like that, it should work, but it really doesn't. Some people decide that they want to accept every single connection out there, and you can do that, but your engagement will suffer. There are a lot of people that use systems and tools that are either automated or done by humans that are VAs to actively reach out and grow connections for their account as fast as possible. And you can get to 30,000 connections before LinkedIn will cut you off, but your engagement's gonna suffer big time, and your audience is gonna be worth nothing because no one's gonna actually engage when you post, and your reach is not gonna be that great. But you can do it. It is a strategy you can deploy. You can actively grow your list through your email account and all your contacts by uploading and connecting it to LinkedIn and setting it blast email out to everybody in your connection list, and it'll automatically invite all those people to connect. If you haven't done that and you're interested in instantly growing your LinkedIn account from scratch, that's definitely a step you should take and start with, at least, especially if you have less than 500 connections. Connect it to Gmail or whatever email provider and blast out a connection request to all those people. You can do that. You can also upload lists and reach out to all those people in blast as well. So explore those options for instant growth, but really think about long-term what your strategy is. Do you want to have a deep connection with your audience of people that you're truly connected with and that are in your industry, or are you just going to have wide open floodgates and let everybody connect to you and we'll see what happens? For me, I've chosen to be much more strict and avoid a lot of the people that are, recruiters and B2B sales companies that are reaching out to me just looking to close a deal, and the second I say no, I never ever hear from them again. But if you do decide that strategy to connect with everybody, make sure you unfollow all those people that you connected with that don't mean anything to you and your audience because they're in different industries or just looking for sales. Because you don't need to follow and see their posts. Maybe you just want them to see yours, and you can't remove a connection as we discussed in the earlier video and keep them as a follower. If you do decide that you want to actively grow your LinkedIn, it's really important that you have a strategy for connections. Now, I'm not talking about getting followers now. We're talking about connections, growing your network within your industry. My strategy is what I call cold content. And it has to do with creating a unique piece of content, often video, but it could be written or it could have imagery or some sort of GIF related directly to one company. Now, if you're not a content creator truly, you can do the same concept by finding something that's been published about the company in some sort of article online or a blog or even a YouTube video, and use that to complement the company and their strategy that they deployed, getting their attention. That's what it's about, is posting something about the company to get their attention, only tagging that one company, and it always has to be positive. So you put this out there, and then whoever's in charge of their LinkedIn will see the post and look at your profile every time. What's unique about LinkedIn compared to Facebook or Instagram is that more often than not, the people that are managing a LinkedIn page compared to Facebook or Instagram are the owners of the company. That's why this is so valuable. There's not a social media manager there. There might be somebody that's posting on the page as the social media manager, but the owners of the company still want to see the engagement because they get leads from LinkedIn, and that's important engagement for their company. So you are going to get their eyeballs. Now, I've tried tagging people in these posts specifically, like marketing managers, VPs of marketing, brand marketing managers. That doesn't work. It has to be passively, it's a passive post tagging the company, and then the company shares it and talks about it. So what'll happen is, if you do a good job and you have valuable content that you're sharing with these people, is they're gonna like the post, which means that everyone in their audience is gonna see it. And their audience of people is made up of all the people that work at the company, right? So it's a really good way to get in front of other people, not by poking them directly, but having it be passively put into their feed from their coworker who they trust and are interested in that person's activity. So when they see their activity, they might pause an extra second and look at it. Oftentimes you'll get compliments from the person who was in charge of that thing. So if you're complimenting a creative that they made or an ad spot, they might comment and say, hey, great job, or thanks very much for the review. It was a fun ad to make, something like that. Sometimes they might even reshare it. Now, they're doing that because you just made them look good. And then once you made them look good, they want everyone in their network to see it. So they like it, comment on it, and then potentially they share it. It's fantastic, right? You're getting in their whole community of people's feed without actually actually doing any heavy lifting as far as outreach on email and cold emails and phone calls and all kinds of efforts that you can make in prospecting. But now I've just got the easiest connection effort in the world with these people because they saw my post, they liked it, their friend commented on it, they maybe even shared it, and when I reach out and I say, hey, I just made that video, I saw you liked it, let's get connected and start chatting or whatever, then they go ahead and connect with me, and it's effortless. I'm telling you, every time they connect. So that's the strategy for connection, but one of the reasons it's important throughout this process as far as your network and building your LinkedIn and value is now you're connected with all these companies and all the people in your industry, and every time you post, they see your post and you're in front of them. And if you're putting a video of your face up, and if you read the book Influence, you're staying in front of them, you become a person that they like. It's extremely valuable because they're familiar with you and you're becoming top of mind. And when that change does start to happen, you could be the person that they use to make that change. And if you think about it, that you're staying in front of them without having to aggressively outreach cold call them, it's so much more effective, because when I do call them 2 months later, and I've posted every day on LinkedIn, they've seen my face every other day, maybe they're not on it every day, they know who I am, what I do, and that they like me. It's unbelievable the power that LinkedIn has right now, but you can't get that if your audience is useless. I'd rather have 1,000 valuable connections than 30,000 not valuable connections, because those people don't really engage anyway. So that's the strategy that I have in my mindset, and you don't have to agree with it, but it's working for me. The next part of this video is another specific tactic for growing your network, and it has to do with pod engagement. I started a pod a while ago. This video talks specifically about when I started it and my reaction to the initial process of doing it, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it with an update of how it's going now after the video. So enjoy. So I started an engagement pod, which is essentially a group of people that all are on LinkedIn, and they're all searching for the same kind of growth and engagement, and they see the value in all the people in the group supporting each other. It's a group of people that are all kind of like-minded and all in marketing and all looking to grow. But it's interesting, when I put it together, there were like 30 people that I invited, and that got down to like 18, and then 10 people ended up actually participating. And it's because of the requirements. You are required to like and comment everybody's post in the group at 4 o'clock on a certain day of the week. Ours is Wednesday and Thursday. You drop a link into the Slack chat that we've created. I was going to do it on Telegram. Instagram pods are with Telegram, and they have engagement bots and all this stuff. None of that works with LinkedIn though. So we had to just do it on Slack because it's easier. But at 4 o'clock you drop your link, and then everybody goes and likes and comments on everybody's stuff, and it makes it like it hacks the system and creates this forced virality for the post. So what's really cool is if I like something on LinkedIn, my whole audience of people will see that I liked it or comment on something. My whole audience of people will see that. And because the algorithm hasn't changed, it's like Facebook in 2008, because it hasn't changed at all, it's like that for everybody. So with this group of 10 people that I'm in, now when I post something in the pod and the link drops, all of them immediately go like and comment on it, and their entire network sees that they liked and commented on it, because that's the way it works. And then if somebody from their network likes it, then that person's whole network of people sees the post. So there's this virality that we're trying to force with this engagement pod. I started it yesterday, was the very first day. Today was the second day. I got 20 followers from it yesterday, and then today we just did it, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but it was a lot of work to get together. We had like 5 different emails and a big conference call and all this kind of stuff, but it ended up happening, and I'm really excited to see how it ends up going. I've had the pod going now for a while, and it's very, very exciting to see the growth. It's continued to have stable growth for me, and every single one of my posts goes and trends on one of the hashtags that I use. It's really exciting. You can see how at scale this would be spectacular. I'm thinking about joining another pod now to increase my engagement in that community as well, or starting another pod with a different group of people to accelerate the account growth as well. So we'll see what happens, but I would definitely recommend it at this point because it's worked really, really well for me, and it's something I'm gonna continue to do. So hopefully you enjoyed this video all about LinkedIn. My name is Bobby Dietz, and we'll see you in the next video.